Hey everybody, welcome to Art Lab at Home, where we do all the cool art and science projects that we normally do at a library in the comfort of your own home. My name is Kady. I am the children's librarian at the Clarkston Library. And you can normally find me there giving out book recommendations, chatting with some kids and some parents, doing story times, doing art and science. But right now, just like everyone else, I am stuck at home. And today we are going to talk about Ray and Charles Eames. I think this is very cool. So Ray and Charles Eames were a married pair of designers in the mid-century. They got married in 1941 and moved out to California. They were both from like kind of a Midwest place. And together they were responsible for a lot of things that you have seen and that you know. They were the very first people to ever mold plywood into chairs and other shapes. They designed a lot of really cool mid-century modern furniture that you may have seen around. They have a very famous fiberglass chair that they figured out how to manufacture. They were all about exploring new ways of making old things. And if you don't care about furniture design as much as I do, then you're in luck, because Ray and Charles Eames also had this kind of side business of when they were experimenting with their plywoods and their fiberglasses and all their other materials, they would start small and they would make prototypes. And so they made so many toys and games that are still around today. And today what we're going to do is make something called an Eames card. Eames for Ray and Charles Eames, that's their last name. And their original ones were pretty small. They were the size of playing cards, so like 2.5, 3.75 inches kind of rectangle. Ours are going to be a little bigger because it's easier to manipulate, but if you like these, you can make them huge. You can shrink them back down and make them small. And they are a stacking and building kind of an engineering game. And unlike a lot of the stuff that we've made in these Art Lab at Homes, there's no end product of this. This is something you can take apart and play with over and over again. So if you get one really good stack of Eames cards, you can play over and over with it. I just said that. So let's get started. Today, you're going to need some scissors. You are going to need some markers. If you have a Sharpie, that's helpful. We want one like thin line that we're going to be drawing. So if you don't have a Sharpie, a pencil will work as well. You want a ruler. Mine is very long. I couldn't find like a 12-inch regular size ruler, but that's really all you need. So we're just demonstrating with a large ruler today. And the last thing that you need is some thin cardboard. This is what mine looks like. You see it's like pretty thin, pretty flexible cardboard. I got mine from some packaging of, I ordered some stamps from the post office, and when they came, they were all packaged on some thin cardboard. You can probably find some around your house. If you don't know where to look, cereal boxes and the insides of cereal boxes, they make a great material for this project. Cereal boxes, Girl Scout cookie boxes, granola bar boxes, any of the boxes that have like kind of a thin, flexible material of cardboard are great. So the ones that we're making today are going to look like this. They are 4.5 inches long by 3 inches tall. So the first thing that you'll do is you'll grab your flexible cardboard, you'll grab your ruler, and you'll measure out a grid all across the surface of your cardboard, and you'll grid it out 4.5 inches by 3 inches. And then using your scissors, you'll cut it up into individual rectangles. Now, once you have your rectangle, you're going to grab your ruler again. There's so much measuring in this project, but it's worth it to get it pretty close to exactly right, because it's going to make a better set when we're done, and it's going to make it more fun to play with. So this is a great chance to practice straight lines, to practice measuring. Grab an adult to help you. I always believe that practice makes perfect, so like use this as an opportunity to experiment and to like maybe mess up, but maybe get things right, you know? Okay, so you've got your rectangles, you've got your ruler, grab your thingamabob, and you are going to, I don't think, can you see? I want the one to be facing upwards so it's easier for you guys to read. Okay, so you are going to measure out on the top and the bottom 1 inch from the side, from each side. So on here it's right at 1 inch, and here it's 3.5 inches. And you're gonna do that top and bottom, and then on the sides, you're gonna measure 1.5 inches to get right in the middle of that side. So you've got, and you'll make a mark with your Sharpie or your pencil, whatever your skinny or writing accoutrement is. So now you have 6 marks on your piece of cardboard, and they're all equidistant apart. Not from each other, but like they're all spaced evenly and in the same place on the card as the other. So 2.5, and then 2 just 1 inch in. When you have done that to all of your cards, I think it's easiest to measure all your cards at once and then cut all your cards at once and then decorate, but you can do them one at a time if you want. You'll take your trusty scissors and you're gonna cut very narrow slits. Can you see that? Right where your line is. So you're basically gonna cut out that line that you just drew. And the narrower you can get that slit, the better. The wider they are, the looser the cards will be, and it'll be harder to stack them. But so you can see we've got a pretty narrow slit. I'm gonna go ahead and do all of these. You want the slit to be about 1/2 inch long. It's okay if it's longer, but it probably shouldn't be shorter. And you don't wanna like make it so long that you're cutting the corner off your card. Because these cuts are so narrow, I find it easier to cut the 2 sides and then just kind of pinch and pull instead of cutting that last little bit at the top. But this is how you do it. Okay, so now you have an Eames card. And if you want to be done here, you can be. But the more fun part is to grab your cards and to decorate them in all sorts of cool and bright and fun colors. So I went ahead and did a whole bunch of the rest of my cards, and now they're really bright colors. If you use a box like a cereal box or a toaster oven box, granola bar box, those are 2 completely different things. I don't know why I mixed them up. If you use one of those, one side of your card will have the cereal box side, but the other side should be blank on the inside, and you can decorate that side. Just remember that the original Eames cards, when they made them, they printed them with like really bright, fun, modern, and pop art. And there's really nothing more pop art than a cereal box advertisement. Think about like Andy Warhol and his Campbell soup cans. So by using already existing advertisement, you are really in the spirit of the original Eames cards. So now you've got a whole bunch of cards. What do you do with them? The answer is that you build. So I'm gonna see if this will come right down here. And these notches will fit into each other. And you can make, with a little bit of practice, buildings that like stand up on their own. So let's snap that one. Whoops. Again, sometimes you have to practice a little bit. And this is again why you want those slits to be pretty narrow, because the looser they are, the more wibbly wobbly it'll all become. So there's that. You don't have to go just straight up. You can build out if you want to. And then you can connect the bits back like that. As you can see, maybe this isn't the most steady tower, but it's coming along. I think I'll put you right here, you right here. And then our last one is this one that we haven't decorated yet because we just made it. But look at that leaning tower of card art gloriousness. So if you, look, it's right in the middle of my face. We'll just scooch the camera there. Okay, so meet you on the other side of our Eames tower. You can take these apart and rebuild as much as you want. You can build out, you can build up, you can make more cards, you can make giant cards, you can make small cards. It's a really flexible project to do, and it takes up some time, and it's a lot of fun. Once you've mastered the rectangle, try and make different shapes out of your cards. See what a triangle Eames card would look like with just one notch cut out of each side, or a hexagon Eames card. Those might be a little bit harder to measure, in which case you'd want to look up how to properly measure a hexagon on the internet. I think a triangle is a little bit easier than that. And that's, again, when you bring in your sweet geometry skills, and your adults or your older siblings or cousins or whoever's living in your house that has taken a geometry class. So I hope that you guys have fun with the Eames cards. I know I had a lot of fun making them. And I will see you guys back here next week. Have a great rest of your day.